The governor in Georgia, Brian Kemp, abolishes all local ordinances in that state mandating masks, including Fulton County, where there have been over 11,000 cases of coronavirus and 331 deaths. To the opposite, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine asked all Ohioans to wear masks. And major retailers will soon enforce a mandatory mask policy. Will you comply with that? Good evening and welcome to the OH Report. I'm Don Bryan and this is your daily intelligence brief. In local news, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine politely asked Ohioans to wear their masks in public due to an increase in coronavirus infections. Governor DeWine took to statewide media to remind Ohioans the importance of wearing a mask to prevent further spread of the virus. DeWine says this could be the difference between who lives and who dies.
Tonight, I'm asking each of you to take action now, to sacrifice now, so that our kids can be in school this fall, so they can at least have a chance to play sports, so our businesses can remain open, so that Ohioans continue earning a living and a paycheck and support their families. Now, what specifically am I asking you to do? Let's start with masks. Let's start with masks. I'm asking each one of you, wherever you live in Ohio, whatever county, whatever the alert color of your county, to wear a mask every time you go out in public.
Dates for mandatory mask requirements for major retailers are as follows. Starting July 20th, Sam's Club, Walmart, Kohl's, and CVS require masks. Starting July 22nd, Kroger, and starting on August 1st, Target will require that you wear a mask. Who is the Mural Lady? For months, a woman has been painting murals on the side of a local business in Mansfield. Check out our OH Report exclusive to hear what Erica Russell is doing in Mansfield.
Yes, this is B&B Auto Repair, and they do all types of automotive work. And a mutual friend of ours had showed him my artwork, and when he replaced the big windows here, he wanted to do something historical on the side of the building. We have each decade from the 50s, and it'll go to 2020. So each mural features an American muscle car and then something iconic from either Mansfield or Ohio. So this is the 50s, and the 50s brought us the first Corvette, and also the Spring Mill Drive-In was a 50s inspired drive-in, and of course that's on in Mansfield here, which not a lot of places still have drive-ins, so it's kind of cool that Mansfield still does. This one is from the 1960s. We have a 1967 GTO, which I was mentioning that that was in honor of my dad. His first car was a green GTO, and in my mind I remembered it this way, but I wanted to surprise him, so when I showed it to him, he said, yes, that was my first car, but mine was a 1968. He surprised me. But in my mind, that's what I remember it looking like. And then, of course, we have John Glenn, his first Earth orbit, a famous Ohioan, and the name of his ship was the Friendship 7. And this was a spontaneous addition to the mural. It's going to be like a black and white checkered road for him to drive on out in space, because during the 60s was a lot of space exploration. And so this is from the 1970s. Of course, we have Smokey and the Bandit. This was one of my favorite cars ever. And in my mind, I know how to drift like this, but I can't, so I just painted it that way. And of course, the Goodyear blimp from Akron, Ohio. And that was always an exciting thing to see back in the 70s, and it still is today too. The 1980s here, and this is a Camaro Z28, which I'm kind of I did in honor of my son. He's currently building a Z28. And then we have the iconic corkscrew from Cedar Point. That was pretty new back in the 70s. I think it was built in the 80s. It was built in 76, but still in the 80s it was very new. And it was always fun to stand right underneath there as the cars would go through. And then I also want to include this Space Needle, because it was kind of sad when that got taken down a few years ago, but it's a fond memory from going to Cedar Point and had a great view of Lake Erie.
Erica plans on working to paint more murals around the city. She looks to collaborate and continue to brighten the lives of other residents of Mansfield, Ohio.
In sports news, kicking it with Storm and Garrett right here in the studio. Today they check in with the Mapleton girls soccer team, who is visited by none other than the U.S. Army. Check it out.
Thanks, Donnie. As promised, Garrett and I were out at Mapleton High School checking out the girls soccer team.
We had the chance to sit down with some of the participants. Here's what they had to say.
I think it helps get us involved with them and then help them kind of see more of what the military does, see what we can offer the students, and kind of get out and help condition some of their sports teams and stuff like that.
I think that the girls are strong. They got a strong will. They work together. They've come a long ways, and I think that we can continue to work in this heat. I think that's only showing their endurances and abilities to be stronger when the season comes along.
I definitely want to see more improvement from the team. Winning is definitely a big thing. Last year wasn't such a great season for us on that, so some improvement, in that part, and everybody's working really hard, so that's nice to see. So.
Wow, looks like the Army was really giving them the boot camp experience.
That's it for Storm and G-Man on Sportscast. We'll catch you next time. Back to you, Donnie.
Thanks, guys. Great report. In upcoming events, unfortunately, the Bucyrus Bratwurst Festival has been canceled due to coronavirus concerns. In a statement, the last thing we wanted to do was to further divide our community. We have continued talks with local elected officials, as well as the Crawford County Health Department and Crawford County EMA. Through discussions with these officials and based on feedback that we have received from the public, in conjunction with the news of a possible COVID-19 outbreak within a local school district, we have decided that the prudent decision is to cancel the 2020 Bucyrus Bratwurst Festival. The safety of our community is important to us. And now in political theater, when we started this, I wanted to ease you into the 2020 election, get you a little hyped on what's to come. But today we need to take a look at the actual issues at play in this election. Where are the wedges being drawn between the two major party presidential candidates? The first ad that we're going to take a look at today is the former Vice President, Mr. Joe Biden, who is hitting Trump on taking responsibility on the coronavirus. Check it out here.
Dr. Fauci said earlier this week that the lag in testing was in fact a failing. Do you take responsibility for that?
Yeah, no, I don't take responsibility at all. First of all, the governors are supposed to be doing a lot of this work, and they are doing a lot of this work. We're a backup. We're not an ordering clerk. We're a backup. As you know, I want the governors to be running things. When somebody's the president of the United States, the authority is total.
The second issue at hand is China. Let's take a look at President Trump's take on Joe Biden and Biden's position on China. two very important issues. We want to hear from you. Where do you stand on the coronavirus issue? Who's best at responding to COVID-19? Is it President Trump, former Vice President Joe Biden, or someone else? And what do you know about the relationship between the United States and China? Weigh in here at the OH Report. We would love to hear from Democrat or Republican or even Libertarian Party officials. Reach out to us here at the OH Report. And that concludes tonight's intelligence brief. Keep it right here at the OH Report, your new hub for sports, news, politics, and more. Tune in every weekday here on Facebook and on YouTube for even more updates. Good night, and I will see you tomorrow.